Legends ZA is the game that has the potential to have quite literally my favorite story of any Pokemon game. My favorite Pokemon anime is the XY series, and one of my favorite Pokemon games is Pokemon XY. I love this gen from the bottom of my heart, and in this video I want to go full game theory mode and try and predict the full story of Legends ZA, from A to Z. But now my friends, my name is Pokey, and this is the story of... Starting off with Puzzle Piece 1, the Legends ZA cover art got announced, and with it, it shares some interesting details. We see the MCs of Legends ZA, Paxton, and Harmony, but most importantly, we see a special trainer that has actually appeared in past Pokemon games. That being Emma from the original Pokemon XY games. Emma was a very niche character that not many people remember from the post-game of X and Y, but then again, many people also don't even remember that it even had a post-game because the story was very lost and obscure. But in short, Emma was adopted by Professor Looker, who is a detective that travels from region to region to solve crime syndicates. His HQ informs him that a new uprising in Kalos was emerging and he needed the champion of that region, Callum, to stop it. In the process of doing so, he meets a girl named Emma who has no parents and companions besides her Pokemon Mimi the Esper. Looker decides to be her guardian for the time being. This is where things start to get crazy, so buckle up. So after it was discovered that the new Team Flare was run by Sarosic, a former Team Flare scientist, Looker made it his mission to stop Sarosic and his plans for, full-on execution for anyone who wasn't a member, just casual genocide. During the missions though, things got weird. During almost every mission, Looker and Callum start to encounter a mysterious lady who was causing a lot of the crimes ordered by Team Flare, but they were too late to reveal her true identity every single time. She would just escape. Meanwhile, Looker does some digging and finds out the name of the mysterious lady they've been chasing down was Essentia, and what made things even worse is that the suit was enhancing the person's physical capabilities and was equipped with high-level tech. But eventually, Looker realized something strange about these crimes surrounding Essentia. First off, the crimes were almost always at night, and rarely ever during the day. On top of all that, the name was rather familiar, but Looker still couldn't pinpoint who it was. It wasn't until he had Mimi with him, and for some odd reason, Mimi took a strange liking to this mysterious person. Well, it turns out, the only person that Mimi would ever bond with was none other than Emma, and if you put the name Essentia and Emma side by side, it makes it even more believable that Emma was the masked person all along. And apparently the suit would control Emma, which is why she never had a clue what the heck was going on. But once Emma was freed from Sarosic's control, Sarosic was defeated and put into prison once and for all. And then Looker leaves the region and heads to Alola while leaving Emma as the sole person to take over the bureau for good. And that's how the story concluded in the original games. And there was likely more to it than that, but was scrapped along with Pokemon Z. But now Legends ZA is our next Pokemon game, and I truly believe that seeing Emma on that cover is by no means just something that was added as a little callback. I believe Emma is tied into the story with a much greater role than we actually think. Before we move on to the next chapter of this video, if you are enjoying it so far, it would mean a lot to me if you subscribed. You don't have to, of course, but it's free in case you didn't know. Regardless, thanks for choosing me to watch during your busy day. It means the world to me. Thank you, friends. So now I need to tie this back to Legends ZA. So with it being officially confirmed that Legends ZA will be a direct sequel to XY and not set in the past like Legends Arceus was like we initially thought, this actually gives us a ton to go off of. For starters, Emma is likely going to be a huge character within the story, and although that sounds obvious, I don't mean this lightly. Emma wasn't even a main character within the original games, and even the trailers didn't give her the screen time that the other characters got, like AZ. I feel like so far the trailers have tried to show us anything but Emma, and the only tease we've gotten is the cover art for the game itself. So Emma's role in the story is somewhat straightforward. Following the events of XY, she became, I guess, a household name and the go-to gal for any missions or jobs that needed her detective skills. She became what she looked up to in Looker, that being a detective. And although she might not be connected with the same HQ, she seems to be more connected with the Kalos region itself, or more specifically, Lumio City. She would Essentia be the Looker of this game. Get it? Because Essentia was her past name? Guys, I really thought that was smart, come on. Okay, so although that's cool, how does this in any way relate to the story? Well, I'll tell you. I believe that the main antagonist of this game won't be Team Flare, but rather Yveltal and Xerneas. Now, I know that might sound a bit weird. Obviously, Yveltal makes sense, but Xerneas? How so? Well, Team Flare coming back is highly unlikely, as they tried to already do that in the post-game of Pokemon XY, and if Team Flare did come back, it would genuinely defeat the entire purpose of the main story and post-game of the original games. So the the only antagonist that really makes any sense using the material we have from the original Pokemon XY games are the legendaries themselves. Now, legendaries being antagonists isn't something new here, it has been done before. Although Auras had Team Aqua and Team Magma, the real enemy was the Primals. In Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, it was the same thing, so this isn't something that's been overdone, but also not completely random either. Now, here's where the two legendaries come in. I believe that Yveltal and Xerneas will have a lot more lore than in the original games. Legends Arceus gave us heaps of new information about both Arceus and the Creation Trio. And even though the game was legit titled Legends Arceus, it felt more like the Creation Trio was more involved than Arceus himself. Arceus was more of the guy behind the chair, making sure everything goes according to plan. See where I'm going with this? Well, if Legends EA follows the same structure, then Zygarde will be under the same rules. Yveltal will somehow be unleashed on Lumio City and will destroy all of the new and improved Lumio City as well. We then are allowed to go outside of Lumio City to a very limited area to get Xerneas' assistance to stop Yveltal. But during the final battle, Xerneas loses and gets absorbed of all of its life energy, and in turn makes Mega Yveltal. With Xerneas out of commission, Zygarde is left with no choice but to enter the fray. You see, I believe that Zygarde will play a minor role up until the very end of the game, where you finally enter the climax of Legends EA's story. You see, the cover art of the game isn't just what you see, it is actually cropped just to fit the case. Instead, there's a full artwork that includes the core of Zygarde himself, Squishy. It's obviously not the Squishy, but the Squishy of this game. I believe that Legends EA's MCs will take on the role as Squishy's caretaker like Bonnie was in the XY anime. And while nobody really knows about the creature, they just assume that it's some sort of weird Pokemon. But for some odd reason, the Pokemon takes a huge liking to you and follows you everywhere, almost as if it knows that a disaster is approaching. The core itself will put you on a mission where you restore the power it once had, so for when the time is ready, it can fight the catastrophe that is Mega Yveltal. And the game will do this by collecting Zygarde cells, except it will be done in a more linear approach, since I believe Game Freak has learned from the Sun and Moon days. And as we progress through the story, we will get closer and closer to achieving a 100% Zygarde, and by the end of the game, we will achieve an even greater form than 100% Zygarde, that being Mega Zygarde. And Zygarde will defeat Yveltal and restore Xerneas to bring back the balance between life and death. Now, this story will most likely contain an evil group that will be more like a plot device in order to release this great evil, sort of like what, Bolo did with Giratina. One, I believe they won't make Emma evil and her be the one to release Yveltal, since that would be way too similar to Bolo's character and would completely ruin her story in X and Y. Two, I think that we will get some sort of legendary battle similar to Necrozma vs Lunala, but instead would be Xerneas vs Yveltal, with Yveltal winning and gaining Xerneas' life energy. And lastly, I do see them having AZ as some sort of wise guru that gives us advice based on his experience with the past champions such as Callum, since the whole reason he's this happy is because of Callum and his help in destroying the machine that he once created. I believe the game will put our MC in a very delicate position, and AZ will give us the advice that tells our MC to avoid making the same mistakes he did in the past, and for the better of the world, sacrifice what you hold most dear in order to protect the world. Now, I'm not saying that Zygarde will be that sacrifice, but I think it's very well possible. In order to restore balance upon the world, Xerneas needs to live, and the only way to do that would be to sacrifice his core to resurrect Xerneas. Which, if that were to happen, that would break my heart, honestly. And the result of this happening would be a new Zygarde core will take Squishy's place in the game. Since after all, there needs to be a Zygarde in order to protect the balance. And, of course, there's multiple Zygarde cores, and we know of this already. But what do you guys think? Do you think this story has some ground, or do you think I'm completely off the rails? Comment down below, as I do read a bunch of my comments. But remember that this is all just a theory. One could even say a game theory. No, okay, I'm done. That's all Yuki wrote, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace.